Human language is so solid when you're preparing food. That also is a fabulous auditory stimulation. The human voice is such a strong pull for this young child. If you asked me what would be the sensorial exploration, anything that offers opportunity for the mind and the body to be pulled is a solid sensorial exploration. And I have found that to be maximum with food preparation.
We could have Montessori parents, and there are a lot of videos and online things, and parents might want to create an environment in their homes which is Montessori based. What are some of the areas to consider? And I appreciated what you said about the space. It doesn't have to be extremely expensive. It doesn't have to have so many things, and it doesn't have to be large. So for any parent, what are some of the basic things to consider in a home?
Yogi, before I start answering that, I want to talk about, many a times, there's this belief that Montessori means shelves and materials, shelves and activities. And I want to say that, that is secondary. Montessori is opening up the opportunities to do life on a day-to-day basis. Montessori can be done without the shelf and without the expensive materials or the developmental aids. It can be made possible just with things that you put together at home, especially for children from birth to 3. And I'm a strong advocate that can be done at every plane. That's in the 3 to 6 environment, the 6 to 12 or the 12 to 18 as well. So coming back to your question, with that said, the single most important thing for any primary caregiver or educator or parent, especially with children under 3 years, is to be a present adult. That's the first thing that you want to offer. That you're there to respond to the needs of the child in your care. Because I see more and more that we think that we are supporting this young child's development by providing a lot to do with their hands, or explore. But before that comes the presence of a primary caregiver who's there to engage with this child at an emotional level, to be able to say that I'm here to observe you, watch you, and give you everything that you need, emotionally. If that is taken care of, then, that is primary. That is the single most important thing. If that is there, then we move on to opening up our homes to involve this child in day-to-day life. Even with the baby that's crawling, you can say, can you, I see that basket on the floor. Bring me an apple. Look at the movement opportunity. Look at the language opportunity with that. And then once this child starts to kind of is able to, walk with assistance or with his cruising, you can still involve him or her in day-to-day life. Okay, you need to be changed. Why don't you come with me? Wait for the child to come with you. Give a support so that the child can stand up holding, and then you can support with dressing or undressing rather than doing everything for this child. Little by little. The only thing is that it's going to take much more longer if you collaborated with the child than when you did it by yourself. Because I go into so many homes for consultation, and many a time, just life, like dressing and undressing, bathing, is all done to young children. But if you involve them, then I feel like you're taking a big aspect of Montessori principle into the life of the child and enabling this child to have high self-esteem, confidence, and this feeling that I can do this by myself. Oh, I am getting the help that I need. Involving children in day-to-day life would be my single most important recommendation in whatever aspects that you can, because I understand that the home is a space both for the adults and for the young child. Somewhere to enable that. It can be a simple thing like setting up a stool near the sinks so that, the child can access the sink, and then making sure that the toilet is set up in such a way that the child can get in and get out independently. There are so many tools now available in the market that you can use based on what is available to ensure that the child is not dependent on you all the time to access the toilet, to access the water source, or to be part of life around tea. So I'll give you an example. Traditionally in Indian communities, we did a lot of work on the floor. We sit down on the floor and do the chopping. So the young infant can watch what's happening. What's the life that's happening around you? So either we bring life down, our day-to-day life to the child's level, or we provide tools so that the child can see what is happening at a higher level. And I want to emphasize on the aspect of safety over here. Because when we are involving young children in life, we have to be mindful of the safety aspect. So this would be my recommendation. And of course, yes, having a small little basket with a few books that the child can have access to, that you can read to the child, that would be lovely too. And if you're a multilingual family like in India, please make sure that you have books from different languages available for this young child. So you are reading, singing in different languages too. That's another opportunity. So these are just some ideas. And of course, yes, I mean to say, like, you can have a small little shelf or even a runner on the floor with few toys that you want the child to manipulate. And remember, with children under 3 years, they outgrow toys easily. So many times we go and invest and buy a lot, but the child has learned it and mastered it in maybe 3-4 weeks. So if you can develop a system where you're building a sense of community with parents who have children under 3 years, and if you're sharing resources, I think it would be great. And any of these toys, the louder they are, avoid it. The more complicated they are, avoid it. Even if you put out a basket with, different kinds of cups of different sizes and they can stack one inside the other, it would work. So look at things that if you observe children, they will show what they're interested in. And if you put out toys that are made at home, and that would be great. And these toys should really support eye-hand coordination and the refinement and development of equilibrium. That is to carry things from one place to other, really try these big movements that require a lot of effort.
Well, I think it's so doable. Thank you for making it so simple. Everyone has exactly what you've talked about. So it's doable to prepare an environment which is accessible to the child. And it reminds me as you speak and you share about India, my childhood, where things are on the floor, you're crawling around or you're walking. And, my grandmother used to roll the chapatis or breads. As a child, even less than 3, you're given a piece of dough that you can play with and you can help mold it in a circle. And it just gives you so much a sense of accomplishment or contribution in a family. And then when that bread is made and it's served, as a child, I remember feeling so much accomplishment. So I think small things to us are pretty huge for young children. They're not so little. They're just developing. And you spoke about something, Kavya, about sensorial exploration. Can you talk about what that means in terms of day-to-day sensorial activities in Montessori?
Yes, I'm happy to talk about that. When Montessori used the word sensorial, she was referring to all of our senses getting the stimuli to engage in. I feel the biggest sensorial exploration can happen in nature for the young child. Spreading out a sheet and letting them lay on the ground. That is such a solid sensorial exploration for this young child. Having said that, I have found with young children, especially children under 3 years, the biggest sensorial exploration happens in the kitchen if they're engaged in food preparation, because every stimuli that they need is with food preparation, and in the toddler community or even in the nido, the way the kitchen, where that's magic for them. Every child will wait for his or her turn to be part of food preparation. We have a lovely area set up for hand coordination, lots of practical life like dishwashing, hand washing, cloth washing, all of that is there. Cleaning and dusting is there. And guess which is the most busiest area? Food preparation. Because I think through observation, we can see it gives the right amount of stimuli for the young child to be engaged. And they want to do it again and again and again. They're not happy slicing one banana. They want to slice all the 8 bananas. They're not happy segmenting just one orange. They want to finish up all of the oranges. Engaging young children, be it at home in the community with food preparation. I know the laws in different countries are different, but food preparation is magical for a solid sensorial exploration. And depending on the country that you're in, I feel like, if you have restrictions around using knife, you can still offer simple exploration around shelling peas or picking grapes, taking them out. All of those are great. At our school, at the Montessori school, they offer such variety. They're making breads like rolling chapatis, as you said, washing rice, slicing cucumbers, papayas, mangoes. All of those are happening. Of course, the adult, the prepared guide prepares them. You can't expect a toddler to take a full papaya and slice it from start to finish. We keep them ready in long slices and they further break it down. So they thoroughly enjoyed that. And anything got to do with cleaning up is a fabulous sensorial exploration. Oh, there's water on the floor. Let's go get the mop and dry it up. And human language. Human language is so solid when you're preparing food. That also is a fabulous auditory stimulation. It's the human voice is such a strong pull for this young child. If you asked me what would be the sensorial exploration, anything that offers opportunity for the mind and the body to be pulled is a solid sensorial exploration. And I found that to be maximum with food preparation. Of course, working with crayons, working with paint, all of that is exciting, but nothing like preparing food. It's messy, it's squishy, squashy, all of those things. And then I think there's a deep need that gets satisfied when they're engaged in food preparation. It's the busiest area. It's the busiest area.